testing with UiPath as a part of the UiPath test cloud, and make the platform as a unified platform for functional and performance testing together. So, in today's session, I'll briefly help you understand what is agentic performance testing powered by UiPath Test Cloud. Okay, and before that, I would just like to help you understand what is performance testing in general. I believe that most of you might be from non-performance testing background, even non-testing background, but you all understand UiPath platform or the RPA, robotic process automation, and how we can leverage the same automation for the performance testing as well. But before that, if we have to understand what is performance testing in general. And if we take an example of a coffee shop application, it's an online application. If you want to online order something, a coffee for you or your family, then you are able to do it seamlessly in any normal day. But if there are any special offers going on, discounts going on, or any special occasion is there, and not just about the coffee shop, but any application for that matter. A lot of you users are bombarding the application with the request, with the orders, and then application response time gets down. It becomes slow, it becomes sluggish, and then uh, the user are getting frustrated why my order is not getting through. We have experienced all these things, most of the times, and especially if you think about a banking application for that matter, it you might have seen that at the end of the month when salaries are credited, you are you when you nowadays it's working absolutely fine, but in the initial days when performance testing was also new, banking sites were also getting down, right? So we recently saw in India, we recently saw that EPFO, the Provident Fund Organization website, they have migrated to the latest version. Their application is also not working correctly or properly. So that's because everyone now knows that they have launched a new version of the application. Everyone wants to go and check that, and their site is not maybe performance tested properly. So in general, we see that performance testing is all about if how application is behaving from normal load to the peak load for the distributed architectures, application, how it is behaving, how when the application is stressed beyond a particular breakpoint, if we apply the load beyond a certain point, how the application is still behaving or it is getting crashed. Okay. And then how if we want to adapt to scalability and grow the application usage based on the demand, like let's say the retail application, like say Amazon or the Flipkart, they have to test for the big billion day or the prime day that recently came up with Amazon, right? So in that scenario, they have to be tested for the scalability because they have to be working fine on the peak season or the peak period, right? So, what are the key capabilities that application should be capable of doing? It should have a good response time during these, load testing or the performance testing. System should be stable. Their infrastructure should be stable. The throughput should be as per the expectation, as per the requirement, and there should not be any bottlenecks or the risk to the end user. Because if your application is failing at the payment page, let's say someone is making a payment after buying certain items and it goes down and the payment is stuck in between somewhere in the payment gateway, then that becomes a problem. That becomes a challenge uh, to the brand. So let's say that what is the difference between agentic performance testing and traditional performance testing? So traditional performance testing, if we imagine a scenario that let's say we are opening a massive high-tech restaurant, and we want to make sure that the kitchen staff and ordering systems won't crash when it gets crowded. But if we are adopting the traditional performance testing, we have to hire multiple users and hand them a particular script that you have to do precisely. You have to walk in at the 7 p.m. At 7:01, you have to do something, walk to the door, order the cheeseburger. So it is very hard coded script and very much robotic or deterministic approach that we used to take in the old days, right? And the problem here is the real humans don't act like that, like in synchronized flash mob. We You might have heard about the flash mob, right? That we have seen in the corporates also. Uh, but in restaurants or in any application, it's very dynamic. In and in agentic performance testing, it is basically about, the goal is like go to the restaurant, find something you like, order it, and check it out. So the users are behaving dynamically, even if the application changes, even if something changes from the UI. The AI agents that we use from the agentic performance testing point of view, that is also becoming dynamic, and that doesn't stick to the particular script. So in general, if we see what is happening in the traditional performance testing, it is a complete scripted path, rigid and very deterministic. If something goes beyond this, the automation will fail. They don't know, because these robots don't know something beyond the scripted automation, or the whatever they have been assigned to do. But in agentic performance testing, the agents are very dynamic. They are goal driven and adaptive. They can change the way they have to respond, and it is quite autonomous. So, however, the real user will change or make changes in their behavior while using the application. The agents will accordingly uh, make the necessary changes and do the performance testing, right? Because why we are all doing this is, we know that it's the environment is highly competitive nowadays. Multiple options are coming up, even if we have to buy something, right? And if something is not working or it's very slow, we immediately switch to the different environment or different application. Like slow is the new downtime now, right? It's not just application is down. Even if it is slow, we call it as the application is not working properly, and continuous performance is non-negotiable now. That's why cost of downtime is very expensive, in terms of the recovery. It is impacting the brand. Nowadays, customers are becoming very low tolerant. They leave quickly within few seconds, not even few minutes, right? There are specialized skills required to reduce these impacts on the brand. We need specialized expertise for performance testing, for the issue resolution. If there are any outages, there are any downtimes, and all these things are coming with a cost, and that is eventually taking the brand to the losing the revenue. So transition from reactive firefighting to proactive performance assurance is, highly, costly, and it is basically impacting the brand. Brand is getting damaged, trust is getting damaged, and it's vulnerable, more vulnerable than ever before, right? So slow is a new downtime, we can say now. But when we say that, if this is so crucial, not why not everyone is doing that? Why performance testing is difficult? Because to be honest, it's not like functional testing that you automate and check, run the automation continuously and see whether functionality is properly achieved or not, or some requirements are properly met or not. Because in performance testing, it's really about these three things: people, processes, and the technologies. For people, there are highly specialized expertise are required, because performance testing is all about understanding the application, deep knowledge of the application development architectures, technologies. How do you script the performance testing scenarios, AI ops, understanding of the operations background, and even analytical skills. When your reports are generated for performance testing, you should be able to analyze where it is going wrong, why it is going wrong. So the skilled people, skilled resources are required. Then processes, when it comes to processes, it's very important to have an integration with third-party solutions. Performance testing is often become an afterthought and is done late, but you have to get into the picture early in the life cycle. You need to be able to integrate with third-party systems like observability solutions like Dynatrace or Datadogs or a New Relic of the world to get to the nitty-gritties of the application, to the get to the root cause of the application. That is also important. And then technology, the rapidly evolving tech stack. There are multiple languages that are coming up nowadays. People are developing the applications in different technical stacks, and digital landscape is getting more and more complex. So you need to really understand the application technology, hybrid systems, how the infrastructure is being designed, and so on. So all these things are making it more difficult for the performance testing to achieve in a siloed operation. And our mission as an UiPath, we want a functional tester also to be able to do the performance testing. They should be able to push the application to their limits and ensure that the peak performance under any load can be achieved and the application can be tested. So this is what our mission is. And this is why now UiPath Test Cloud is has come up with performance testing with the built-in approach. I hope so far it's clear. You have any questions? Please feel free to put it in the Q&A section, and my colleague Rakshit will be able to answer that. Or post this session, we'll have some Q&A as well where we can answer the queries. Okay. So when we are talking about agentic performance testing in UiPath Test Cloud, as I said, that there are multiple challenges nowadays that the applications are becoming more modern. They are not only web, there are mobile applications, there are some APIs, there are legacy applications, there are some ERP packages, and then end-to-end scenarios and AI systems are getting built nowadays, which is making performance testing more relevant, more important nowadays. And because of the AI era, developers are developing the application with much better speed now, and there are fast releases and unpredictable traffics are getting into the picture, right? So, but UiPath Test Cloud Advantage helps you achieve the scalable performance testing for all the QA teams, and it's a unified platform where you don't have to, as such, learn any new different techniques or different language for the performance testing. Our AI-assisted design, execution, and analysis will help you achieve the performance testing with the same capability that you have for the functional testing, right? And it helps our clients with a faster validation cycle, wide performance coverage, earlier bottlenecks detection, because we help you apply the load systematically and understand where and really resemble the real-time situation or the scenario, the how the users are actually maybe logging into the application, right? And understand the bottlenecks. And again, it basically the key capabilities that we are able to achieve is real world simulation. As I said, that we are able to resemble or mimic the real world scenarios based on how the users are actually using the application. We are able to scale the infrastructure or the virtual users based on serverless architecture and help you achieve the required amount of load to be applied on the application. We can help you integrate with the CI/CD pipeline so that you can trigger the automation from your CI/CD pipeline. We are making it a unified platform. We can help you build the custom agents, and you can see that if we have to master the agentic performance testing, our approach is basically a very dynamic and collaborative process where the human being or the user and the agents that we have pre-built are interacting non-linearly to set up, execute, and analyze the performance test scenarios. So there are planning agents which are available to define your load scenario, define the objectives, the success criteria. There are load generating agents that can help you generate the load based on your requirement, what kind of load you want to generate. There are execution agents that will help you execute the automated load test and monitor the system performance, right? And then analysis agents will eventually help you collect the data, analyze the collected data, and identify the bottlenecks and the issues. So gone are those days where you really need to understand and analyze the reports of the performance testing execution, where human dependency, the skill set dependency was there. With analysis agents that UiPath has come up with, that particular responsibility or load has also been reduced from the user's headache, right? It's not a user's headache now. Reporting agent will help you summarize the load test results and create the reports based on the available data and the results, and then with also actionable insights, so that you will also come to know, okay, what action I have to take forward, right? And notification agents will help you distribute the report to relevant stakeholder holders via emails or any third party app integration. It may be SMS, it may be WhatsApp, or it may be any other application, right? And, and this is what we basically offer as core pillars of our performance testing offering, like maximum realism. As I said, that we are able to simulate the real user's load, okay? And it actually helps you precisely simulate the real world performance scenario, okay? Speed to value means where we are able to leverage the existing functional test automation scripts and the guided scenario for the performance testing as well, so that you don't have to redevelop or re-script
Mm-hmm.
anything for the performance testing. Anybody has any question? Okay. It's very cost efficient also, because of the centralized artifacts we have. We are using the same automation suite, and that helps you streamline the performance evaluation as well. So it's very cost efficient, time efficient. We can also leverage the other capabilities of the platform. We can experience the platform in much better way, integrating with the orchestrator of UiPath. We can use the data fabric, where the data fabric or the data service will help you leverage synthetic test data for your multiple virtual users of load that you have to generate, and the test manager to manage the robots, the agents, and there are many more capabilities, right? Effortless scaling is one of the USPs that we have, because if we have to do the performance testing with the open source solutions, you have to manage your own infrastructure, and that is becoming very costly nowadays, considering the cost of the AWS or Azure of the GCP of the world. We have seen the billings are getting into millions, but with our serverless cloud robots, we are able to provide the infrastructure for the performance testing at scale, and it is just based on your requirement. You can scale up and scale down these robots, so that you are not charged for something that you are not using it, okay? So it's very easy, comes out of the box, and very efficient to use. And agentic support will help you generate the scenarios, analyze the results, automate test creation and execution. Will eventually, it's a complete package that gives you in a complete unified manner, that helps you achieve both functional and performance testing under one single umbrella. Okay. Let's take an example that if you have a challenge of getting realistic performance simulation, and as I said that you already have developed functional test scenario within UiPath platform, and our solution will help you simulate the maximum realism by using the same automated test cases, and achieve the expected behavior for the performance testing as well. You don't have to do any new scripting or write any new automation as well. It's accurately replicating user behavior and network conditions based on your requirement, so that we can achieve the valid performance metrics, and also with the same test environment. Okay. Another challenge that we often see that data management, because let's say if your application needs a performance testing with 200, 500 virtual users of load, then what kind of data, how you are generating the data, right? You can't use the real world data or real user data because that becomes a data privacy issue, considering the GDPR and other compliances, right? You have to have synthetic data, you have to have dummy data. So with UiPath platform, we have synthetic data or the data fabric or the AI trust layer data fabric that helps you this data management, generate the synthetic data, and achieve the the load that you want to generate to perform the performance testing for the application. That actually as an enterprise grade solution that meets your need for even most complex and regulated organization scenarios. If you, as I said, that if you have to generate the load if you're using any open source solutions, and scalability and resource constraints are there because you have to depend on third-party cloud solutions like AWS or GCP or Azure that can help you use their infrastructure at a cost, but that becomes very costly affair. With our solution, with UiPath solution, this scaling is very effortless. It's very managed and orchestrated. Cloud load injectors helps you inject the serverless robots for for performance testing, and eventually help you manage it very effectively from the cost and the efforts perspective. Okay. So here we come to end of the presentation, but we'd like to quickly take you to a small demo of performance testing, and then probably we'll get to the Q&A.
The
Okay.
story is about
So
a
there
marketing
is
campaign
a
case.
solution. There is a scenario where there is a marketing campaign. There are some changes in the web application for the banking, and marketing has suggested some changes, and how we are able to collaborate with the team and test it from the performance testing perspective. So this is the demo about that. So we'll just play it.
And the story I will be telling you about is about a loan marketing application, right? It's in the banking sector. And the story is about a marketing campaign that will take place next month. And the question at stake here is whether the banking application will handle the load for these load testing campaigns. So as all great projects, performance testing is starting with collecting requirements. So based on talking with customers in this field, it's taking up between 20 and 40% of the time to collect the requirements. So what we are doing here is that we manage non-functional performance requirements, just the way we manage functional requirements. You can add these in the system directly in Test Manager, or if you have these, for example, stored as user stories in Jira, we will synchronize this one automatically with Test Manager. So this is how a load testing user story is looking like. So it's describing the application and the test. It's providing a couple of acceptance criteria. So here, mainly the criteria are about the different features to be working as expected at scale. So my example here, I have a check-in, login transaction. I have a credit card management transaction. I have my loan management that we are interested in for this marketing campaign. And I have also a couple of other transactions. So I have also defined the test scenarios here, right? So I want to simulate 250 concurrent users simultaneously into the system, and then check if these can, log in, simultaneously. So let's start with, evaluating these requirements. So here we are leveraging, an AI capabilities, an agent that we created for that, in order to have a look at your requirements and to figure out how these can be enhanced. So the first step for you will be to add some context, right? So here in my example, I have added an architecture description of my UI bank application, listing the features and the different user personas for my application. I have also instructed the system with a user prompt and a couple of suggestions for enhancement, right? Including, for example, checking if the response time under various load conditions are detailed enough, plus others around throughput and resource usage. So I'm launching my evaluation here, and the system will provide a couple of suggestions. So the one I'm interested in is define response time metric, right? The AI is suggesting that there should be acceptable or maximum response time for the different user actions under the various different load conditions, and gives me an example, right? Account creation should, for example, complete within 2 seconds under 250 concurrent users. So I'm adding this section to the requirement. I'm fine-tuning this one a little bit, and now I have a more complete, I have more complete and specific user criteria with performance under load, service level objectives, and these will be, the system must maintain an error rate below 1% when my 250 users are connected simultaneously, and the system must respond to user requests in less than 1 second in average, right? So now I have my requirements that are well detailed. The very next step will be about linking my automations, right? As Shivayan was talking about, mentioning, in this example, I have already a couple of automations in place, right? So login and accounting, I have my mobile banking, credit card management, and I have my loan management. So if I click here to the hyperlink, it will go straight to the studio where I have defined my automation for loan management. So the next step will be about creating the load scenarios, right? So I have a couple of them defined already in the system, and now what I want to do is create a new one, right, for my loan management transaction for my UI bank application. So I can either input all the parameters manually, but the beauty here is that using an AI agent will generate the load scenario directly from the requirement. So here in my drop-down box, I'm selecting the first one, load testing for UI bank application. I'm getting all the details from what I showed you before with the specific acceptance criteria. And you remember that the automation are linked to the requirement as well. So now the system has all the information in order to generate my load scenario, right? So what you see here is load scenario for my 4 transactions, login, mobile banking, and then the loan management and my last one. So for login, for example, I want 250 users to log in. I give it a maximum response time in average 1 second and maximum error rates of 0.5%, right? So that's all automated and generated by the agent. Next step is about dry run. So what I want to do now is make sure that the load infrastructure is sized, with enough capacity, and that my different automations are working at a minimal scale. So the example here is about scaling with 9 virtual users. So here you can figure out that I have a couple of errors, 12 errors here. So what I would have to do is fix my automation error before running my tests at scale, right? So that's a dry run phase, and it will make sure also, by the way, that the overall cost of your runs will be minimized. Next step is about starting a full execution, right? So now what I do is that I spawn my infrastructure in order to reach the 250 virtual users, and I'm getting the average response time, I'm getting the HTTP errors. So here you get a chart for each of the metrics, right? So the load curve with virtual users, we are getting automation errors and then HTTP errors, as well as the end-to-end performance metrics for my scenario. So that's under users. And under infrastructure, the right chart is about the behavior of the load in infrastructure. And the left chart, backend system and the test, that's the monitoring of the system and the test. So UI bank application and the specific transaction in our example. So here we are retrieving memory, CPU, and disk, and this will be leveraged in order to troubleshoot and find the root cause in case there is a service degradation. But now you remember that our promise is that the performance UiPath performance testing is for non-subject matter experts. So what we have implemented is a nice chat interface in which you can directly specify the questions that you have in order to interpret your performance result and charts. So a couple of examples here. So what do peaks mean at the beginning of the test? Initial load suggests a spike in demand or request at the start of the period. That's normal. Are errors at an acceptable rate? Initial moderate error can indicate some issues in handling high load, but it decreases. So pretty much everything, as expected. Is the load management application ready for release? While the response time, criteria are met, error rate is slightly exceeding the target. Some optimization is needed before we can confidently release the application. Can the application handle the expecting load during the marketing event? So the current performance suggests that the application can handle a significant load, but further stress testing with peak expected traffic is recommended to ensure scalability. So what are the main bottlenecks here that were identified? So based on the data, the primary concern is the error rate. So we need to investigate that, the cause of this higher error rates, and implement fixes to bring the rate below 1%. And this is really where you would implement something like a queuing mechanism, as Shivayan was mentioning before. So last step of our journey will be about generating insights and report, right, for your load testing campaign, performance testing campaign. So here you select generate insights, and you get a report such as the one that you see on the screen here, right? So starting with an assessment of your service levels. So in my example, response time, an average of 0.8, something like that. So below the one seconds, which is a positive indicator. But it's important to note that it's an average, right? So there might be some outliers here, but the error rate is really the major concerns, right? It was 1 to 2%. That's something that will require attention of the development team. So you get a couple of global statistics, and also then what were the main breaches for the service level objectives. So with the reports here, this insight, you get an overall picture of your performance testing campaign, and you will be able to interact with the different stakeholders that are part of the project in order to fix the different problems and make sure that your customer will have a great experience with the loan management campaign, marketing campaign that is planned next month. So if you want to...
So that was about performance testing, mastering the performance testing, and uh, this is the just the beginning, and we have very good plans down the line. We might also have an integration with the observability platform, so that you have seen that how we are getting to the bottlenecks of the application, but to get to the root cause of the application, the integration with these observability solutions of the platforms like Dynatrace, Datadogs of the world will be highly effective for the organizations to make full use of this performance testing platform from UiPath. So that's all from our side. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop in the Q&A section, or you're feel free to ask now. We have a few minutes left, or maybe Suhan can share you an email ID that you can share your questions after the session. Okay. Suhani, over to you. You can open the line. Rakshit, you're there.
Yes, yes, Lakshmikant.
Yeah. Is there any questions? Yeah.
I'm just waiting. Like, feel free to ask any questions, team.
Hi, Lakshmi. I'm Ashish. So this
Yeah.
was a pretty good insight, which we got to see here. But are these things available for us to like do a hands-on and check on this, or is it still under preview?
No, I think it is available right now. So are you already using UiPath for any capability of UiPath like RPA or using Test Cloud for testing?
Yes, so majorly we're using for RPA.
RPA. Okay. So Rakshit, if you can answer that.
Yes. Ashish, you can enroll for the Test Cloud trial license, and then you are able to use and this for 1 month and all. And then, yes, you can experience all this hands-on.
Okay, so this would come under the test cloud separately,
Yes.
not along with the uh,
Mm, also
existing.
in the Test Cloud. Yeah.
Okay, okay, understood.
Okay.
Good. Thanks.
Thanks,
Any
Ashish.
any other questions or doubts? Anyone, team? Okay, if nobody is having any other questions, thank you everyone for joining the session. And also, like we are continued to provide more session from the part test cloud. Next sessions will be on the SAP agentic testing as well as the codex and all. And also in the August, we are planning to have one more hands-on session where you are going to build the agent, AI agent using UiPath Test Cloud. That will be an exclusively in-hand session that is going to happen in Bangalore UiPath office. There's soon the announcement and everything. You're going to get through the LinkedIn as well as the our UiPath community page. Please do follow and hoping to meet everyone in the hands-on session in the August.
One question from my side, Nilesh here.
Yes, Nilesh.
Is there any plan or any blog that for CI/CD pipeline for testing is there?
It's already available. We do integrate with CI/CD tools.
Okay. So
Yeah.
actually, I was trying to implement, but I did not get
With
complete the
which particular tool you're trying to
Azure.
integrate?
Yeah, Azure DevOps.
Azure DevOps. I think it's
Yeah.
there, right, Akshit? We do support.
Yes, yes, Lakshmikant. We have that Azure DevOps. We have that, recently you remember that Ankit also trying to do that one only.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
we have the CI/CD integration. Yes, I think I can.
So, Nilesh, if you have any challenges, we can take it offline so that we can help you. You can drop
Oh,
in a mail
yeah.
to maybe Suhani if you don't have our email ID, and we can
Yes,
take it forward.
Can
yeah,
you share your LinkedIn link so I can refer?
sure, sure, Niklesh. We'll do that. Nilesh, sorry.
Yeah.
You can find me as Rakshit CS, or else I will send a mail with our LinkedIn profile as well.
Okay.
Summary
Yeah.
email with our LinkedIn profile.
Sure, sure. Yes, that would be helpful. Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
thanks everyone. Then thanks for
Thanks
your
again.
time. I
Thank you. Thank
appreciate.
you for your
Yeah,
time. Bye.
thank you. Bye.